Hi, and welcome to The Right Hook. I'm Susan T., and together we'll be exploring tips, tricks, and tools you can start using right away to make your writing stand out. And at the end of each video, you'll have the chance to practice what we went over. So let's get started. Copycat words are words that sound alike, but they have very different meanings. We've all been there. Used a word that we thought we were using correctly, only to have someone correct us. We've looked up their definitions and convinced ourselves that we know the difference. But in this video, I'm going to show you certain little memory devices that you can use to remember the difference between the words. Let's start with the first pair. Wreak versus wreck. Wreak means to inflict something severe or harmful. It's commonly used in the phrase wreak havoc, like what the tornado is doing here. Wreak is always used as a verb. But wreck, on the other hand, can be a verb or it can be a noun, like wrecking a car or a car wreck. And it can also act as a descriptor, as in the name wrecking ball. So try to keep this couplet in mind. If it's havoc you seek, the word is wreak. How about hone and home in? The word hone is derived from the word stone, and stone rhymes with hone. Hone means to sharpen or to refine, as this medieval fellow is doing here with his sword. He's honing the edge, making it especially deadly. Home in is to return to a home location, just like a homing pigeon returns to its home. So, she homed in on the target, like a pigeon coming home to roost. How about famous versus infamous? When you're famous, you're widely known for good reasons. But if you mess up, you're front page news, and now your name is still widely known, but for all the wrong reasons. You're infamous. So keep in mind, in trouble, in hot water. If that's happened to you, you're infamous. How about champ and chomp? Well, to champ is to strain against something, like champing at the bit. It means chafing at the restraint and eager to get going. Chomp, on the other hand, is to eat in a noisy way, like chomping your food. It's probably something your mother told you to stop doing when you eat. The thing to keep in mind here is the CHA. CHA for champion horse, CHA for champing at the bit. The champion horse chafed a bit and champed at his bit. How about unqualified and qualified? Unqualified can mean that someone doesn't have the skills needed for a situation, but it can also mean that something should be allowed to proceed without hesitation, as in an unqualified success or an unqualified audit opinion. That means the auditors gave a company's financial statements a clean opinion. Qualified can mean that someone has the necessary skills to do something. But something can also be qualified, like an auditor's report that contains reservations about a company's financial statements. A qualified success, for example, means something may not be fully successful, or there are hesitations about it. So keep this little poem in mind. No ifs, buts, or breaks. Unqualified means no mistakes. How about jury-rigged and jerry-built? They're often conflated, and I've heard jury-built and jerry-rigged. Well, when something is jury-rigged, it means an improvised solution. It has nothing to do with the jury. Think of the rigging on a ship. That's where the term originated. When something is jerry-built, it means it was put together haphazardly, like the house you see here that Jerry built. So whatever you do, don't hire Jerry to jury-rig a fix. Jibe versus jive. Jibe means to mesh together, as in, your ideas don't jibe with reality. Jive can mean several things. It could be energetic dancing or slang or talking deceptively, like the guy here is probably doing with this pretty girl. So keep this in mind. No vibes in a jibe, just enliven with jivin'. How about tamp versus damp? When you tamp down something, you push it down. This barista is using a tamp tool to compress espresso grounds. But damp is what happens when something gets wet. You don't damp down something. You just live with the wetness. So you would tamp down a flame with a hoe, but you would dampen a flame with a hose. What about tied over versus tied up? The expression tied over originated with sailors in a calm sea. With no wind in their sails, they relied on the tide to move their ship forward. So you can ask a friend for a loan to tide you over to payday, to give you a push to get you to where you have to go. When you tie over or tie up something, you secure it. The sea doesn't have to be involved, although occasionally, as you see here, it can be. You've done your best. Now let the crests tide you over the waves. Try to keep that in mind. Apprise versus appraise. Again, I've heard these words misused many times. Apprise means to inform, to keep someone current about what's going on. But how often have I heard it said, I want to appraise you about the latest happenings. When you appraise something, you put a value on it. Think of a home appraisal or having your jewelry appraised. You're finding out the value of it, and then you can apprise someone of your appraisal. So let's recap. We have 10 commonly used word pairs, and very often the words are used incorrectly. Try to keep in mind different devices you can use to remember the difference between the words. Do you think you have it? Let's give it a try. Pause the video and see if you can figure out the right word to use in each of these sentences. Are you ready? I can't wait to get going. I'm champing at the bit. That's why I'm chomping down my food. The event was called a qualified success because, while it raised awareness of the problem, it brought in only $200. Can you lend me your card to tide me over till my own car is fixed? How about these sentences? Take your time. Pause the video and ask yourself, which is the right word in each sentence? Let's go over them. Before I apprise everyone of the situation, I want to be sure I have my facts straight. She has a finely honed intelligence that enables her to home in on the facts. Your conviction that we can't win tamps down our enthusiasm for even trying. Set your mind on avoiding these cringe-worthy mix-ups. If you do, you'll be expressing yourself confidently and with clarity. Thanks for watching this episode. And if you have any questions or want to send me a writing sample, you can reach me at therighthook123@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you at my next video.